Good evening, I'm Michael Steele. We begin this hour with yet another manic day for the financial markets. Stocks ended the day lower for the fourth straight session as traders continue to reel from President Trump's vow to continue his tariff war. Now, this comes as business officials and financial analysts are pleading with the Trump administration to put an end to the uncertainty, settle things down, give us something normal. Stock market has hemorrhaged about $6 trillion in value since Thursday and $11 trillion since Trump returned to office. So much for that economy. Earlier today, President Trump promised to escalate things against China by slapping an additional 50% tariff on the country. But China's likely and not really that fazed by the whole thing. They're not going to back down. The European Union doesn't seem to be backing down either and announced 25% tariffs on U.S. goods set to start in May. Now, folks, the plunge in the markets matter because stocks are at the heart of many 401k accounts, which have dropped nearly 20% since setting a record less than 2 months ago. While Americans are losing money, Trump, meanwhile, spent the weekend golfing in Florida. And this morning, he dismissed your concerns. He dismissed your concerns by telling you not to be weak and stupid. Joining me now is conservative attorney George Conway, president of the Society for the Rule of Law, Edward Luce, U.S. chief columnist for the Financial Times, and Maria Teresa Kumar, MSNBC contributor and president and CEO of Voto Latino. So just to put on the table, to level set the conversation, everybody, a White House official today said Trump's golfing during the market strain was like, quote, going to a birthday party after a friend has had surgery. George, these people really are stupid. I can't even begin to put words.
What does that even mean?
It means nothing. In other words, we don't give a damn about the fact that you're losing money in your 401k. We don't give a damn about the fact that the economy is roiling the way it is. So how should folks be responding right now to what's happening to their accounts, what we see in the markets? Is it? And we'll talk about this a little bit later, but is it just the protests? People kind of feel, what do I do when this guy is lost $6 trillion worth of value?
Well, I think you have to accept the fact that it's going to get worse. And it's going to get worse.
You mean there's more dropping ahead?
Yeah, because, look, I mean, he doesn't care. He totally does not care what harm he does. In fact, he gets off on it. He likes the fact that he can make everybody crazy by doing this stuff. Yeah. It's the fact that he can sign a piece of paper and the whole world flips out. He loves that.
To your point, we just saw that with the markets when it looked like he wasn't going to be as aggressive and back down. The markets this morning rallied and started to move into the green, and then he came out and said, no, we're doubling down.
This is a man who cares about nobody but himself. I mean, we're just all just objects for him to play with, and he relishes. He's sadistic. He relishes in the harm that he causes, and this is his chance to get revenge on the entire world. And this is how he does it.
This is the revenge portion of that retribution, Teresa. Maria Teresa, where you've got Trump's response to the markets, basically putting it this way, calling tariffs beautiful things to behold, telling the Americans to hang tough, don't be weak. Sometimes you have to take medicine. I just hope it's not medicine that the Secretary of Health has banned or a vaccine that you can no longer take. How do you see people responding out there? The network that Voto Latino is tapped into across the country. What are you hearing from everyday folks who have 401ks and are trying to keep their kids' college accounts whole and solvent so the kid can actually go to college?
Michael, this is not what folks voted for. I mean, we just concluded 10 days of focus groups. And one of the things that for folks in the Latino community that said, I'm not going to vote for Kamala, but I did Biden, but I'm going to vote for Trump this time. It was all to help fix their economic situation. And this is the absolute opposite. What we're seeing in his attitude is more closely to Marie Antoinette of let them eat cake. And he could care less to what George is saying. And I do think that what the American people need to do is start calling their members of Congress, because while he and the administration may not be nervous, you better believe the Republican leadership is nervous. You better believe that they're seeing the writing on the wall that unless they are able to bring him back from the edge, they're going to have a really difficult time in mobilizing their voters and actually winning and holding onto the House. And that's not small feat. But let's not give it only to the Republicans. The Democrats really need to stand up and start sounding the horn of this is your 401k. This is money that you have invested. And the Republicans right now are not showing any spine. They should be on air every single day right after Trump says his shenanigans and talk about what exactly they missed and how he's impacting the American people. Because in this limited attention span that we live in, it's all about communication. And so while Trump is taking a sledgehammer to people's 401ks, the Democrats have to show up. Just like Cory Booker did 25 hours and 5 minutes plus, they have to be doing that constantly. And so my hope is moving forward is that American people understand that tariffs are a tax. That 401k, God forbid that you are now looking to retire in the next 3 or 4 months because what you thought was solvent in your retirement during your retirement days no longer is true. So there has to be accountability, and it has to start in Congress and in the Senate.